was one day in a depressed state of not having a job. I was sitting there and deleting all the rejection emails. I was applying every other company across globe, right? Dubai, Saudi, everywhere where I see a construction opening. And I think there were, I think, more than 100, 110 or 100 if we are inventing something like an iPhone or a Facebook, right? If we are not doing that, then grades do matter. But I'll always give an upper hand to skill set because that is what is going to prove us. The compensation matters, but only to one extent. Like you said, if something that is coming into our pockets, which is manageable for us, I wouldn't say that it should be very low. You go for something, which is peanuts, which will make your life horrible. No, but something with a decent package. We need not have the top package every time. That is one thing. What actually matters is, like you said, the mental health.
Welcome to I'm a Recruiter podcast. I'm your host, Prafulla Deori. I'm thrilled to have you with us today. I'm a Recruiter is more than just a podcast. It is a movement by and for talent acquisition professionals. We are here to shake things up. Our vision is to create a seamless network of recruiters from classroom to boardroom. Our mission is to create a collaborative platform that connects and empowers any TA professionals, providing end-to-end support across talent acquisition landscape. If you are getting any value out of our content, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share, and also let us know in the comment section what you think about today's podcast. So let's build this community together. So with this, it's time to introduce our guest. So we are thrilled to welcome a dynamic and inspiring campus recruiter to I'm a Recruiter podcast, Sai Kiran. So with a strong foundation in engineering and impressive track record in talent acquisition, Sai brings a rare blend of technical acumen and people-first leadership. His journey from hands-on recruiter to a strategic talent leader is nothing short of remarkable. Currently playing a pivotal role in building high-performing team, Sai is known for his innovative hiring strategy, authentic leadership style, and ability to balance business goal with human-centric approach. Beyond the metrics and dashboard, he is someone who understands the heart of recruiting, people, purpose, and potential. Whether it's navigating market shift, mentoring emerging recruiters, or adapting to tech disruptive like AI, Sai has seen it all and has powerful insights to share. So sit back and grab your coffee or any kind of drink you want to have and get ready for this awesome session with Sai Kumar. And we are really excited to gain more and more insights from him. So thank you, Sai, for your time. And we are really excited to know more and more insights about you, your life, what kind of struggle you have faced, what kind of journey you had, where you were born and brought up, all kind of thing, right? So that our audience can relate who Sai is, right? So quick intro before we start, Sai.
Sure. Firstly, thank you so much, Prafulla, for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this, and also I really appreciate this fact that all the work, all of you, the core team is doing to bring forward all this good stuff. It's humongous, and I'm sure it's a great work. I'm very grateful to be part of this. Coming down to my introduction, I hail from a place called Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh, but I've been born and brought up in various places. My father is a teacher, so he used to travel to multiple places, and with him, I had been at different cities, mostly in Andhra and Karnataka. I never had one best friend for life. I have 100 best friends for life because I think I would have changed some 7, 8 schools in my 1 to 10, then college at a place. So going back to my academics, I think I've done my engineering and civil engineering. Now, it's of course not by choice again. It's always that you need to follow our passion, provided it's between engineering, medicine, and or an MBA. That's what I've been taught.
Yes.
So otherwise, I thought I wanted to become an aeronautical engineer ideally, but things didn't work out that way. Even after getting rank and all of it, someone told my father that it's too costly. We couldn't really afford it, and okay, he was like, we may not be able to afford it, so we need to choose something else. And then I've decided, okay, if that doesn't happen, anything for that matter is okay. And then later I got a seat in civil engineering in a deemed university in Andhra Pradesh. So this university called Vignan University. So I've done my bachelor's there. But yeah, I loved it. Honestly, within an year, I started loving civil engineering. Because it's amazing, right? The challenges there are amazing, and I loved it. And eventually, I started growing into it. I doesn't come from a tier 1, tier 2 college background. Maybe a tier 2 deemed university somewhere in the rural part of Andhra, where if I go and talk something very good, even their own students from other colleges around in the rural part would think I'm way better than them, right? So it's kind of I'm a hero because I come from a deemed university to all the local colleges around. But my friends around and my professors really helped me to groom myself. I had folks from IITs who joined us as professors, and they really groomed me to what actually worlds look like, right? So I was part of a lot of tech fests, digital fests. I won a lot of competitions. In fact, that gave me a growth that made me. I realized my dad used to say, "Padle badi study that to get into an IIT." And I used to say, "Engineering is engineering everywhere," right? So
Yes.
but later I realized it is not, right? And we start look at the world, it is not. Well, I had a great engineering, but there's a lot to explore. So eventually I love civil engineering. Now I had a perception in mind that what will a civil engineer do after engineering? They go join as a site engineer, get 8,000 plus accommodation allowance per month. That's it. Okay. Now inner me is like, why should I do this? Right? I'm not gonna get anything out of 8,000 working for 16 hours a day on a site, in a humid atmosphere where there's no proper even office, because my internship was on a railway track for 6 months. So I'm like, no. But in engineering, I've gone to a fest to a campus called NICMAR, National Institute of Construction Management and Research. So I've participated in the fest in Goa campus, and I've realized that is one of the top colleges for construction management in India. So this time I took my father's word seriously that I need to study and
Study.
get into a better college. So maybe my life is a little better there, and I've targeted it. And yeah, I got in top campus of it. That's in Pune. So I've done my master's program from there in advanced construction management in Pune, and I'm like, okay, it's done now. It's all cakewalk. From 10,000 per month to I see companies coming and paying 15 LPA, 20 LPA in 2018. TCS was still high, 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs was still a high package for computer science engineers. I thought, okay, 18 LPA is not bad, right? Going to Saudi, going to Dubai, it's all great. But I've realized there are 1,500 like me who still want the 18 LPA, right? So if I have tasted real competition in my class, if we were 60, maybe half of us used to speak a fluent English. Now, in out of 1,500, all of them speak fluent English. So the competition is very tighter in terms of soft skills, in terms of technical skills everywhere. But fortunately, I was one among the first company that came into the campus. I got selected for summer internship there, so I got into a real estate developer. So a good real estate developer in Mumbai as a planning engineer intern, and I thought, yeah, my life is fixed. Summer intern, 2000 within 3 months of joining, within 16, I mean top 16 of them, the first 16 who got placed. Eventually gone back to chill mode because I'm all great now. I got placed. And yeah, I mean, especially in MBA colleges, right? People think once you're placed, grades don't matter. Once you're placed, anyway, you're thrown out of placement, so it doesn't matter which companies are coming in, which companies are going out. That was the mindset. But one thing was always consistently there is my curiosity to explore stuff. I was part of, again, multiple events, multiple activities. So I used to represent student council of my college, and trust me, it is not easy to be part of it. It had its own selection process, and today what I'm today, I'm sure that particular student council, a team of 16 which managed a lot of stuff in college, shaped me to what I'm today. I'm very grateful for that MBA campus and for the team. So I used to be always busy, never free, and eventually everything went well. My 2 years of MBA was beautiful with all friends, and then came the real task. COVID hit. Okay, so March 16th is when I left my college and went back to my hometown. March 22nd or somewhere 22nd or 23rd, I think we got an announcement saying it's 1 day lockdown, 2 days lockdown, and 1 week lockdown and stuff. And April 6th, I was supposed to join the real estate developer that I got into in Mumbai. So I've got everything set, and later realized that my joining got deferred. Now, it was deferred by a week. I mean, it was equally deferred, like just like the way lockdown was getting deferred 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. And after 2 months, they have given a heads up to, I mean, we were around 35, 36, I think, who got a job there. And out of that, 5 of them, they said, okay, we don't have a place for you guys. And 30 of them, they said they have joined, and left out me, who never got any communication. Now, I don't know if I should have rejected, I am not rejected. Now, my manager who was there left the company, right? So there was no point of contact. I could hardly reach out to anyone. So that's where the struggle started. COVID hit personally very hard. That too, my father is a teacher. There were no colleges. Everything was in lockdown. I think those private teachers are someone who are the most exploited in corporate colleges or any
Yeah.
few academic institutions. Things were very difficult, and I have realized I need to find a job. And that was the first time I made a resume out of my college resume. I had a LinkedIn account which was always inactive. Then I came back active on it. I started pinging people. I still remember, Prafula, I think 6 months down the line, I was one day in a depressed state of not having a job. I was sitting there and deleting all the rejection emails. I was applying every other company across globe, right? In Dubai, Saudi, everywhere where I see a construction opening. And I think there were, I think, more than 100, 110 or 112, or we cannot give you a job, we cannot give you a job, we cannot give you a job. And I'm like, clueless what to do. Then I have decided, okay, now let me put construction apart. Let's concentrate on the management part. Let me try if something comes in there. And then thankfully, through a network chain of referrals, and I've found few opportunities coming my way. I used to do freelance stuff during those days, kind of for small construction companies. I used to do a little planning and schedule types, but it's more of a project management stuff. But later I got an opportunity in a company. I've applied and I got an opportunity where I joined my career. I started my career as a talent coordinator, right? So I had a couple of opportunities in Bahrain and all of them before it. So through referrals, but that didn't, I mean, COVID was at its peak. I didn't want to leave my family and go. So I ended up not going there. Thankfully, when I've applied in this week, someone somewhere recognized the profile and gave me the initial opportunity. And I've started my journey with Athena Health, where I was placed as a talent coordinator, and I had a fantastic team, amazing managers, amazing mentor. Today, what I'm today in this field, it's all because of them. So they gave me, it's like for a talent coordinator, it's always mostly about scheduling interviews, talking to candidates, but I had an amazing mentor. She always stood by me. She said, "Hey, Sai, this is where not you should get stuck. There's something above it." I had this imposter syndrome, right? So what if I'm not able to, like, what if I don't be able to do it? Because all my life I was a person who told, "Hey, what computer science, what I'm a civil engineer, buildings and you sit in that AC and work. What is all this?" Used to be me. I mean, a typical engineer who teases other branches, who is fond of his own engineering, and suddenly I have a cheat sheet in front of me saying full stack developer, front end technologies, back end technologies. I mean, it's like to remember them. I'm like, okay, what is this now? It's like nightmare for me initially.
Like it's full circle, right?
I mean, exactly. Karma hits very hard is what I believe in, and it's full circle. Where I told I don't want to be at all is where I went and fell, and I'm like, okay, now is this my future? I still tried for a lot of construction companies, honestly, while I was there. But once I started doing recruitment work, because my mentor used to really coach me in that, let's say if she had 10 recs, while she is the one who closes all the recs, at the end of the day, she used to say, "Sai, if you give me pipeline for one rec, I'll appreciate you. You are in the next step." So I used to create pipeline with her. So somewhere that I really loved it, right? I really loved it. Working on somewhere I'm influencing people's lives directly. So I mean, both positively and negatively. I know a lot of, if there are 100 people, one is very happy because we are going to give him a job. Other 99 are going to be upset because we are not be able to of a great help to them, right? So, but that I really loved it. So I had an amazing manager, amazing mentor, and amazing team, which really gave me a good growth. Okay, I mean, honestly, a very good growth. And in the same company, I started handling campus and lateral at one point of time, and that was the foundation for me. I got an opportunity with Cisco. Then I joined Cisco, and now today I've worked with Cisco for 2+ years, and now I've joined Uber enough in this field. I mean, it's a fantastic journey. I don't miss construction industry anymore. All that recruitment industry gave me is a little trust issues because I don't know if people really talk to me because they really like me or they just need a job, right? So it just gave me a little trust issues, but I think I love this industry, especially campus recruitment. It's very close to my heart because I'm directly influencing someone's career from day one. And I still remember the first offer that I made, and I remember every student that I've hired who come to me asking for stuff. It's a great, good feeling at heart. Yeah, this is my career. I'm sorry if I made it a little longer. So Vijay, yeah, so predominantly in Hyderabad, Vishakhapatnam, and a little bit in Bangalore, and then my PUC in northern part of Karnataka. I think it in Bidar. So it's all
Okay,
mixed.
okay. And how were you as a student? Are you very studious? Are
No.
you kind of average?
I mean, I was never studious. Okay, I'm not a backbencher. I always used to prefer middle bench because at least I was smart enough that I need my assignments to be done with help of first bencher, and I need all the fun that is happening in backbench. So I was always a middle bencher, but never studious, right? Trust me, never studious. I shouldn't say this. No one should really take this as a motivation, but I had I bunked school, I bunked. It's fun, but somewhere I absolutely think all that maybe gave me a very good life experiences. But as far as career is concerned, right, somewhere the first thing that they judge is how responsible I am with respect to my academics, right? How disciplined I am, because that is the most basic thing. One thing I've ensured, I have never gone below 75% in my life. So that was the cutoff that I always had for me. And somewhere that helped me get shortlisted for all the companies because it all used to start with 70 and above, 70 and above. Always a first class student, but I did have backlogs in engineering, cleared them. I was not thesis used to be the major recruiter. I was not an eligible person for that because I had backlogs, right? So there were a lot of doors that got shut down because of all of this. That hustle was there. I think maybe if I want to go back and unlearn something, this is one thing I want to unlearn is I don't want to have backlogs in my engineering. Go back, figure out if there's any career vertical that would have been possible from that time. Otherwise, I'm very happy for what I have today.
So I can definitely relate with you. Even I had my backlogs. Only in first year and second year, I had my backlogs. Third year and fourth year, I was kind of quite sure कि बैग तो नहीं लाना.
So, I mean, I was very, I used to voice out everything. Okay. Not everyone used to like it as well. So, especially I think, in my schooling, where my principal calls my parent and she has a problem saying, hey, your son leads everyone. He brings down everyone on me. That is, too much of leadership is not so great and all of that. And from that to, I mean, the weirdest subject that I have failed is in professional ethics. I should not say this, but I don't know. It was in engineering. That was the subject that I failed in. Professional. I've written it for twice. I mean, that is because I never had internal marks in that. I
Okay.
never, it used to be a feeling that the professor is wantedly failing me. That was the mindset at that time. But eventually, no one has grudges on anyone. Is what the realization that we get. Why would a professor want to fail me?
Yes.
Now other side of the coin is for professor pass percentage matters for his growth.
Yes. So since now you are a campus recruiter, you are on the other side of the table or the grass, right? So what do you think? Like percentage is important or the skills are important, right? So one example what I wanted to give, if you see lots of successful business owner, let's say Facebook, let's say any other successful business owners have dropped out of their colleges and started their businesses as well. So from that angle, if I see skills is important. But again, like in Indian education system, to get a call in an interview from the recruiter, percentage is also important.
Absolutely.
So what is your take on that?
Okay. So, like you said, I mean, I've recently posted something on this on LinkedIn. I think grades matter because, maybe Facebook or anywhere for that matter who has dropped out. Grades doesn't matter if we are inventing something like an iPhone or a Facebook, right? If we are not doing that, then grades do matter. But I'll always give an upper hand to skill set because that is what is going to prove us what we are. But the initial stuff, right? Grades open our doors. This is, I very firmly say to everyone that concentrate on your grades because it's not anything about society or it's not anything about, we need not have a 98, 99 percentile, but at least a basic, maybe, 70, 75, which will give you a way, much more easier way than what others who are under it has to go through. So I think grades do matter initially, but I don't think after my first college placement, no one in my life has asked me what percentage you had.
Yes.
So ultimately, if it is your placement, grades matter.
Yeah. So even like I have now 12, 13 years of experience, hardly anyone asks about the percentage,
No one.
right?
Yeah.
Everyone focus on your skills, what skills you are like upskilling every year and how are you growing in your career, right? Great. So the reason why I ask you this question as well, recently I have visited to IIT Indore, right? One of the panel discussion, and students had that mindset of having a high package, right? And to have high package, you should have good percentage as well. So that was one of the myth buster question they asked. Is percentage important or is skills important? So that's why I thought of asking. Since you are a campus recruiter,
Right.
I thought of asking you.
Absolutely. I mean, once we start growing in our career, our competition, let's say if there's one position open, maybe 100, 200 will compete, but at an entry level, thousands compete together. Now, the first way to put them aside or shortlist them is through grades, and many companies prefer it, not only for higher package, right? Even for a basic, very less package of the college, they still want grades because that is the ultimate criteria for shortlisting for a lot of companies. I'm sure many companies are going inclusive enough, but otherwise, 90% companies still prefer grades. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you see for the future? Will it be relevant, let's say 5 years, 10 years down the line, right? Do you still think grades are so important or skills will take it? Considering now AI is coming into picture.
Right. And I think skills will take up right now. Skill based hiring is going to boom up, is what I think. Right. Absolutely. At one point of time. So far, it's always been, if you see even the Teval, how we used to hire before the traditional way, have some 100 folks coming in. We'll all shortlist them, have them, take up a test and then go there. Those are target positions. It used to be the traditional way. But right now, companies are in fact evolving. They want India level talent, right? They want to tap on every corner of the India. Now, gone are the days who prefer IITs. Now, people want to see what is there in tier 3, tier 2. For that matter, when GCCs are booming up, their major concentration is tier 2, tier 3, right?
Yes.
So again, these are all big brands. Even if it is a GCC, office could be small, but ultimately the brand is big. So they want best talent coming in. Now, with all this consideration, I think skills are going to be given priority, but there is some time for that because the supply is huge in our country. It's huge. So, and to cut on that supply, I mean, to at least have that good set of people, it'll take some time for us to completely evolve towards skill based, is what I feel.
Nice, thanks. Great for your genuine feedback. Definitely appreciate. So you have been almost like 5 years, 4 5 years in the industry right now.
Yes, 4 5
Okay.
years.
So in this 4 5 years in recruitment industry, what are some of the biggest challenge you have faced, and how did you approach to those challenge and overcome them?
Okay. So if If it, it is with respect to the hiring, I think the biggest challenge, the first challenge that I faced was initially around 2021 when there was a lot of demand for a lot of folks. If you remember, there was a huge search. All the companies are fighting for everyone. I've seen people coming back with 4 offers, 5 offers. For that matter, even when I was a campus recruiter, I had folks, where they used to come back with 3, 4 offers. And that was the biggest challenge where the retention was the biggest challenge, asking them to stay back. And I think eventually, to be very honest, if something is 2x, 3x of what we offer, it's never possible to bring them back.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't really believe in someone says, oh, it's your skill set that will make them, if I offer 10 to someone comes back with 30. First of all, I feel sad that I can't even ask them, hey, you come back to my 10, right? So it's not fair, right?
Yes, yes,
But eventually, but there are a lot of places which I knew. I mean, in fact, I've helped them many thank me for that matter, where I offered something, someone else got 1.5x, 2x. I've told them what is actually not good there, right? So,
yeah.
and when I've really told them with insights, when I've really told them, let's say few startups that time, Prafulla, if you see, once product is built, all they want is engineers to maintain it,
Yeah.
right? So all the minds that have built, if there are 10 minds that have built, one top mind, all other 9 minds are kicked out because they're of high cost and they will hire junior resources at 2 to 3 years experience and then they'll just have to maintain the product that they have built. So I think with this mindset, I've personally researched, used to do it very candid to candid basis where I should research on the offer that they have got, tell them if it is really right or wrong. In fact, I myself have suggested saying, yeah, this is right, you should better go for that. There were days like that as well. But this is one of the biggest challenge that I have seen. And I think campus recruitment is concerned, so far it's been peaceful for me. Not really great challenges. It used to be in terms of slots and all of it when we used to do traditional way of hiring where, I used to, again, it's again same compensation play, right? I go offer something, I have some other company offering 2x, 3x of it. They will get a better slot. They want a cream layer. I want a cream layer. The fight is always for talent. Okay, now what is cream layer? No one knows what is cream layer, honestly, right? This is the biggest question mark even I have now because I have seen people ultimately our standards of interviewing, right? I see someone who clears in top firms doesn't clear in a very normal firm, right?
Yes, yes.
What is cream layer then, right? It's all about how do we interview.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think these are the challenges, not so great, I would say, but compensation was huge. Yeah.
Since you have also brought up this topic on compensation, right? So again, the other topic we discussed in IIT Indore was again the compensation, where the placement officer was also asking us to recommend something to the students, right? For students, it's always about money, right? It's always about high package, right? Like you have rightly mentioned, right? Once you have the higher package, you get the best lot in the campus placement as well. But do you think, like in longer run, the higher package, if let's say will sustain, right? No, right? So for example, the reason why I'm asking you, let's say you need to compare between work-life balance, you need to compare between your priorities, you need to compare between company brand, tech stack, your learning things, then monetary, of course. So how do you explain to the students? Because students are like very competitive, right? Their mindset is, hey, इसको इतना पैकेज मिला है, मुझे इससे अच्छा पैकेज चाहिए, right? So what is your suggestion for the students?
Okay. So I think honestly, compensation matters, but only to one extent. Like you said, if something that is coming into our pockets, which is manageable for us, I wouldn't say that it should be very low. You go for something, which is peanuts, which will make your life horrible. No, but something with a decent package. We need not have the top package every time. That is one thing. What actually matters is, like you said, the mental health. Okay. How is it going to be in the company and what is the brand that they're getting into? And the most important is technology. How is the brand evolving and what are their products or what are their services for that matter? Who are their clients, because all this matters. I have seen folks going with amazing packages, but they go back and work on tech stacks which are almost non-existent now. Let's say I know people used to work on Perl. I've heard from leaders people used to work on Perl way back in 2000, now 2019, 2005. It used to be a great tech stack. C is very old now, right? C++ for that matter is very old. So not everywhere, every company doesn't have all the verticals. All the verticals of every company doesn't have AI ML, right? So even if you get a high package, if you go back work on the old tech stack, eventually your opportunities will come
Very
down.
much limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So opportunities will come down and new companies will not be ready to pay you so much.
Yeah.
So someone is actually getting stuck. So I think a good research is very important. And Praful, I think this shift is happening. Honestly, I've seen a lot of research. A recent NASCOM report for that matter says this mindset is a lot with millennials, okay, not with Gen Z. Because Gen Z prioritize mental health. Gen Z prioritize a lot of learning and development opportunities that are there over package. And this is the recent NASCOM report that I've read through, and they have on the answers. I think even for that matter, with the surveys that I have done personally with students, all of them chose mental health and learning and development over package. So eventually, we see the shift. That is where companies are working on their EVPs, employee value propositions, differently enough. Those are the days gone when I have maybe the only package that will attract today is 1 CR.
Also, like two example I have given there. So one is like, let's say during this COVID time, right? There are many people who got very good package, left their country, relocated to some other places as well. But because of this lockdown, because of their all these issues with the COVID and situation, right? Even though they had money, when their family needed them, they were not able to come and support as well. So in that case, does money really help you when required? Right, so that was one of the thing I was talking to the student. And second thing is, like, currently we have been seeing lots and lots of layoff, right? Every company is trying to save
Yes.
money
Money.
left, right, center, right? Everyone is talking about budget, right? And when you have a very high package, you are the most riskiest employee ever.
I agree. I mean, in fact, a lot of recruiters that I know, when we talk about compensations, getting 2x, 3x off, I mean, 3x offers and all of it, the only statement that recruiters pass is he'll come back, because they won't stay in there for long. That too, the companies that are paying, so much, it's all those inflated packages are only because they need someone urgently. When that
Yeah.
urgency is done, that's it. I mean, when the survival there is, you need
Very
to
difficult.
proving yourself again and again. And now you come out of the company saying things didn't work out. Mentally, you will not find that package anywhere else. You'll have to come 50% off to it, where my lifestyle is already increased to that level now. See, it's all traumatic. I think it's very important for us to be wise, all the students to be wise when they choose where they're getting in. It's not only compensation for sure.
Yes, agree. Great. Moving to our next question is, how do you balance the pressure of delivering an aggressive hiring goal with creating a good candidate experience and stakeholder experience? Because during this campus time also, you have a very aggressive timeline, goals, dates, lots of things at a go, right? And how do you balance the things between the candidate experience and stakeholder
I think the
experience?
most important part is planning, right? So if a plan is good, next thing that can go wrong is in execution, right? But the first thing is plan should be good. Now, when I plan something, I think the first thing I prefer is I go back to my first principles, right? So what can really mess up? What is one thing that can go out of our way? This is something I'll always have it on my mind. And when I plan stuff, so I always ensure, let's say if I have folks, for example, a simple example, I don't want my interviewers to get burdened. I don't want my interviewers to sit down for 8 hours, 9 hours straight, take interviews. Now, there are cases, let's say if I then come a challenge where 70 people have got shortlisted. Now, should I feel happy or sad? Because I should feel sad because my interviewers are going to get burdened. I should feel happy because 70 people, there's a good conversion. And in such cases, I would always have this margin of error, positive and negative, and have my backup panel who are ready to pitch in if it is required. So basically, ultimately providing that experience to the stakeholder. And for candidates, I think the first thing that I believe in is transitioning, right? The transition should be good from round to round throughout the interview process, and giving them the constructive feedback. If that, I don't like people going back with their question marks. I never liked it, right? I never liked it. When I had rejection, I don't know why was I rejected. If it is there in my hands, I mean, of course I can't share something very officially. Most of the times people can't share something which is very official, and they can't put it out. But I think out of courtesy, at least if someone is not able to share a feedback, it's better we at least go back and say what they can improve on, right? So that will give them that, hey, okay, I've been evaluated, that decision saying, oh, they need to improve. So candid experience to next level, because communication is the key, Praful. I think every LinkedIn message possible, I'll reply. Even today, I have a lot of messages that I don't get to read. Maybe for recruiters, 100 of them keep flowing. It's all about make 5 minutes for that. Similarly, make 5 minutes for your candidate, give the proper feedback. I think this is going to increase candid experience to next level. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, I do agree, Sai. Everyone generally talk about candidate experience, stakeholder experience, and lots of other things. What do you think about recruiter experience? Does anyone talk about recruiter experience these days? Does it really matter?
Not really questions, but it does matter, right? See, recruiters' expectations are very simple. Honestly, what I've seen, all they want is the stakeholders should really be flexible. The stakeholders shouldn't need a lot of follow up for simple stuff. So I think, if you ask a recruiter, what are the biggest challenges? Sharing of responsibility. If we are hiring for a stakeholder, we are doing that because to make their life easy. Now, we shouldn't keep running behind them saying, hey, give me feedback. Hey, should we hire or not? Please take an interview. I had a great managers who said me, when I was doing this, they told me, why should you go back to them and do that? It's their job to come back to you and ask proactively that where are my candidates, right? So I think recruiter experience ultimately depends on this. I feel we are all those beings whose expectations are very little. Please be flexible with us. Please, respond to us immediately, and please take that accountability. Hiring is not recruiter's job. Hiring is hiring manager's job as well. It's a team effort that should come in ultimately.
Yes. I have a related question for you. So definitely, if you see lots of successful or global MNC CEO, or let's say any startup founder, for them, what they talk is people is very important for their business as well. People is one of the top most thing in their business, which is the number one priority. Every successful business owner think and say very clearly and upfront, right? In spite of that, right? People think that talent acquisition is not important, right? So we are supporting your business to get a good people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And at the end, they think that
I think agreed. I mean, in fact, they consider HR as a support function. First of all, I've seen a lot of places where I've spoke to a lot of them who feels HR is a support function, and eventually now out of HR, TA is such a huge stuff, and I think TA is one of those functions which should get equally valued to sales.
yep,
Because
yep,
people
yep.
value sales a lot, saying, "Hey, it gives me revenue." Ultimately, who is hiring your sales guy? I am bringing that guy who is giving you top-notch sales, right? So if I am not there, who is going to help you out with it?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
directly
yes.
contributing to the revenue.
To the growth of the organization as well.
Yeah, so every recruiter contributes directly to the revenue because they are the people who are going to bring to jobs. So who is doing it? It's recruiters, and this mindset should change. And I think it is somewhere little changing. A lot of strategy work that is happening right now when there is that too when there's scarcity of right talent, right? Everyone is behind recruiters. You're what you can do.
Yeah. Other thing is like whenever any company is setting up an organization in any part of the world, first they try to hire a good
Recruiter,
right?
right?
If then why do you want a recruiter, right? If we are not just a support function.
Exactly. See, that is the problem. I mean, that is the mindset, right? So I think recruiters face a lot of beating. They need to scale up everything. And if everything is scaled up, the first people that they don't want is recruiter again.
Yep, yep. So I think recently I have also posted in LinkedIn as well as in I'm a recruiter community member as well. Let's say if a company is building a product and let's say they will have a chief product officer, right? Let's say there is a sales team and the sales team initially will report to chief revenue or chief sales officer, right? Then if someone is from the recruitment, why the person can't become a chief recruiting officer, right? So that is one of the question. We got lots of funny response as well, but still I disagree with most of them because, and this is the moment I wanted to share why I disagree with most of them, right? Number one reason, right? Before the HR were existed, recruitment was there in the picture. For example, in the time of kings and era, right? All the warriors and others were hired through the recruiters only, right? Then come your industrial evolution and other things where factories and other things were there. Even people hire people to get job and other things. It was done by the recruiters, right? But now, why can't we have our own branch, our own function, our own division? Like it's sometimes I feel very upset. I think crazy things. I keep talking to my wife, and she told it doesn't make any sense. I know it doesn't make sense, but why should it be like this, right? So I try.
I think that is going to be future proof. I'm hoping for it because a lot of places they are focusing on talent acquisition, talent management verticals are coming in as an exclusive verticals out of HR. Those are the days gone. I think where TA was a vertical in HR. Now TA itself is so huge that to the highest level of org. I think there are people who belong to the same grades like CHROs in a lot of companies calling themselves under talent management, talent development. So I think that is going to be future. Hopefully, I mean.
Finger crossed. So, in your experience, right, what qualities separate a good recruiter from a great one in today's market? You have met multiple different recruiters in your experience as well, right? So, what in your experience, what qualities? Because every individual have a different quality, right? Some might have a very good quality, some might be not that great qualities as well. So, what qualities separate a good recruiter from a great one?
I think someone who runs behind numbers is a good recruiter, and someone who runs behind numbers and quality is a great recruiter. It's not only about if we are bringing someone into the system. I've seen recruiters who just work to fill in numbers. Now here is it. They don't care what if they exit. But I work with great recruiters when I was TC who told, hey, Sai, this person is going to stay in a company at least for 5 years. I think he's the one, right? So I think that is one of those very important quality that makes a person maybe a good recruiter to become a great recruiter, and also someone who plays around a lot of data. Okay, it's not that I got a position, I'm going there and closing up. And at the same time, someone who is in the role of advisor, that plays a very important role. If I'm talking to an hiring manager, I should be able to say that why he or she is wrong at an instance. I should be able to say that what I am going to advise is the ultimate good stuff that is going to come into your team. So a great recruiter is never a recruiter. They're always talent advisors. I think these two predominantly.
Sure. I agree, Sai. Great. Moving to the other question. So we all have been hearing about the buzzword AI everywhere, right? So what are your thoughts on the rapid integration of AI in recruitment? Is it enhancing the process or diluting the human touch?
Sorry, diluting what?
Human touch.
See, it's of course diluting the human touch, that is for sure, because recruitment needs human touch. Honestly, I can never imagine negotiating with a bot because bot will never understand what my nuances are. Okay, that is first thing. And second thing is, I'm sure it's going to make our life easy. Okay, within one command, it's going to analyze all our data. That is good, but it's always important that we are integrating it. For example, I've heard things coming in terms of resume passing, or let's say for that matter, predictive hiring. See, so far, whatever to the best of my knowledge, one thing, the foundation is they all run on the data that we have stored in them, right? That we have created, the LLMs that we make, it's all on the past data. If past data is a biased data, for example, then the output that we're going to get is also biased. Right.
Yes.
So I think it takes a lot of time for us to implement it every stage of recruiter. And I will never agree to the fact that AI is going to, impact recruiter's life. It's only going to enhance. It's only going to enhance. It's never going to take jobs for sure of a recruiter, at least. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I agree to disagree, to be very honest. Even in recruitment, in every phase, AI is kind of existing. Let's say for the time of building a job description or creating a job description, AI is there to help you to create a job description. You don't need to waste your mind. Second thing is to source profile as well. AI is helping you to source profile, right? Now, second, I have also seen some of the AI where they are helping you in screening the call as well, right? So, and then next part is skilling interviews and other things. So, in every part, AI is there. AI is not only involved in the offer discussion, what I'm seeing as of now, rest everywhere, some or the other way, AI is there, right? And it is just the beginning. And if in the beginning itself, we are seeing so much of advancement in recruiting world, don't you
No,
in later part
I
it
think
will.
agreed. But the biggest challenge is, let's say, for example, resume screening. I completely agree to your perception. I'm sure a lot of stuff gonna come in. But let's say if someone has written one keyword in a way that we have made our LLM as, but the resume has actually a different keyword, which again, means the same. Only recruiter can sit and figure out which is the correct one. And there's always a chance that we lose good people to this, right? So I think that's a drawback. Companies are really going to work on this, bring the best product out of it. But ultimately, who is going to monitor if AI is working correctly or not is again a recruiter.
Yes. Yes. So only the other thing is like, let's say if in a team we had like 5 recruiter, now might be like one recruiter might be there to
Could be, yeah.
monitor the thing.
Could
Yeah. And again, like there has been always an evolution throughout the recruitment industry as well, right?
yes.
So initially it was like the King's era, then the industrial era, then the digital era, now the AI era.
There is. I mean, there's a stat that says if around 60 million jobs were cut by because of AI, AI on the other side generated almost 90 million of jobs. Now the problem here is not layoffs are happening not because people. I mean, AI is not impacting. Rather, see, ultimately, a person who has knowledge of AI can replace the person who doesn't have knowledge of AI. I think this is what is going to happen.
Yes, agree. Great. Last two questions before we wind up. So you have been a successful recruiter. So what is your suggestion or advice to someone who is freshly starting, or let's say who want to move to a campus recruitment site? How to be a successful campus recruiter like Sai Kiran, sorry.
I think success is always a journey. Every drive that do is what creates my success portfolio. But generally, first thing that matters is the passion. Second thing is that intent to do. Campus recruitment is huge. It's again a huge thing. It is completely a different vertical itself under recruitment. But for a fresher to come in, they should again start their journey. I wouldn't say that they should come as a coordinator, learn stuff, but they should at least have knowledge on how things work. This is very important. I see a lot of people who are in their placement teams and all of in colleges. They'll have a lot of knowledge on how campus recruiters work because they kind of collaborate closely and work with them. So it's always good to know, find a right mentor, find a right mentor who is going to guide you on how things work, and eventually find an opportunity in a space that excites you the most. It could be computer science industry, it could be construction industry, anywhere as a campus recruiter, and then learn a lot on how education works, how degrees work, right? Where is the highest talent pool available? Where is the least talent pool available? What is the niche talent? Someone comes and says me, hey, get me an ML engineer. Where should I get an ML engineer? Is a least niche talent pool. I think stick going back to the fundamentals and learning how things work is really going to help for someone who is fresher. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Great answer, Sai. Okay, so before the last question, two rapid fire question for you. One is like if Sai is not working, what does Sai love to do on weekends?
Okay, I first thing I love to do is sleep. Otherwise, I go around, locally to some peaceful places. I love exploring temples, so I keep exploring a lot of temples which are in and around. Read some history of them, and I mean this is predominantly that I do in weekends. Yeah, but first thing I do is I prefer doing is sleeping.
Awesome. And if you need to recommend one of the inspiring movie to anyone out there in our community or let's say to the student, which movie it will be? Any movie.
I'm a huge movie fan. I see a lot of movies. I think Chichore is a movie. Sushant Rajput.
And what kind of inspiration you have got from that movie?
I love that movie for the fact that, if you, in that movie, eventually towards the end, it's not about failures, right? It's always about how much work you have done. It's all about process. Success is not ultimate goal. I have read this statement. I've written this on LinkedIn as well, that, Rahul Dravid once says out of 600 odd times he batted for India, 400 times he didn't really cross 50 runs. Success is not glory. People glorify it a lot. It's about
Yes.
what we have gone through. So that is an inspiration that I have from that movie.
Last rapid fire question. Engineers, any person who have done engineering are the best recruiters of the world. Yes, no.
Yes, because they're naturally problem solvers.
What do you think about I'm a recruiter community? And what's your opinion about I'm a recruiter community and what best we can do?
Firstly, I love the work that all the core team is doing here. I think something that is really needed. I have seen a lot of communities coming up, but going dull after a while. But one thing I really love with this community is consistent, right? I see something coming up, very good content. It is not that, in a world where everyone wants to get into Fang Mang, all that, big stuff. I think this community is looking for fundamentals, so building a base on that, and ultimately the great work. I love it, Prafula. Honestly, I'm a huge fan for this consistency. Every day once I open LinkedIn, the first thing I see is, a nice, should I call the LinkedIn one reel? I don't know what do we call, but that 30-40 seconds clips that come in, I'm like, okay, something I've learned. Okay, discrimination that happens in workplace too, wonders that recruiters create. We get to learn everything.
What kinds of session is it sourcing? Is it related to campus recruitment? What kind of session?
So maybe predominantly on the strategic aspects, campus. Many doesn't know it, right?
So next time we'll try to invite someone who is kind of senior and who can talk a little bit about from the strategic angle as well, and plus someone who can guide us from the stakeholder management aspect as well. So we'll definitely try to invite someone to talk on this aspect. But overall, I personally have loved our discussion and thank you for being candid, Sai, like how you have shared in and out about your journey, how what kind of challenges you have faced before getting into a job, then what kind of challenges you have faced after the job as well, like finding slots and other things as well, right? And the big high packages and other things in the competitive market, right? And definitely, I also agree with all the points you have given towards AI and other things. Definitely, those recruiters who are using AI along with their journey will replace the other recruiters who is not. So I obviously agree. And yeah, and thank you so much for your time. I know we are recording this podcast in a very odd time, but again, thank you for your time. And it was an interesting discussion.
I mean, I'm very grateful to be in front of a leader like you who would have seen all the ups and downs in this industry. But it's a huge learning for me as well. Thank you so much.